Good afternoon. It's Tuesday, April 7th, 2020. I heard this week about a family that was following the stay-at-home order, and they're going to watch their church service online. They set up a cable from their laptop to the TV so they could see it on the bigger screen. Just before it started, the dad got 3 of the kitchen chairs and set them up in a row right in front of the couch, between the couch and the TV. So there are 3 empty chairs in front of them. His wife says, "What are you doing?" He said, "I've never sat on the front row in church in my life, and I'm not going to start now." We all do what we need to do to adapt. One of the times that the people of Israel experienced a major disruption was during their exodus from Egypt. They fled from Egypt carrying just the bare necessities, were chased by Pharaoh across the Red Sea, protected by God. Across the wilderness, they were led by the pillar of fire at night and the pillar of cloud by day. Can you imagine how many times Moses heard, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" Several times, the Bible records the people complaining and whining about how hard it was, how difficult it was, how hungry they were, how thirsty they were, how sometimes even saying they'd be better off back in Egypt. And they were tired and they were hungry. The Bible never once records them being out of toilet paper. A couple of the folks, though, were different. One of the different ones was named Caleb. He followed God and always believed God. He was one of the 12 spies who went into the land and believed that God had given them that new land. And he and Joshua came back and gave a glowing report of the land flowing with milk and honey. But the other 10 were scared and fearful of the size of the people. And they talked the people out of entering the promised land then. And so God gave them some promises at that point. And 40 years later, here comes the conversation when Caleb, as an 85-year-old man, comes and claims that promise. This is from Joshua chapter 14, verses 6 to 14, and I'm reading from the New Living Translation, second edition. A delegation from the tribe of Judah, led by Caleb, son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, came to Joshua at Gilgal. Caleb said to Joshua, "Remember what the Lord said to Moses, the man of God, about you and me when we are at Kadesh Barnea. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to explore the land of Canaan. I returned and gave an honest report, but my brothers who went with me frightened the people from entering the promised land. For my part, I wholeheartedly followed the Lord, my God. So that day Moses solemnly promised me, the land of Canaan on which you were just walking will be your grant of land and that of your descendants forever, because you wholeheartedly follow the Lord my God. Now, as you can see, the Lord has kept me alive and well as he promised for all these 45 years since Moses made this promise, even while Israel wandered in the wilderness. Today I'm 85 years old. I am as strong now as I was when Moses sent me on that journey, and I can still travel and fight as well as I could then. So give me the hill country that the Lord promised me. You'll remember that as scouts, we found the descendants of Anak living there in great walled cities. But if the Lord is with me, I will drive them out of the land, just as the Lord said." So Joshua blessed Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and gave Hebron to him as his portion of land. Hebron still belongs to the descendants of Caleb, son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, because he wholeheartedly followed the Lord, the God of Israel. You know, Caleb not only survived the Exodus and the conquest, he thrived. God blessed him with courage and strength and vigor. He recognized that difficulties are only for a season, and there's new life on the other side. That's the hope of Easter we have this week. These difficulties of life are only for a season, but there is eternal resurrection life on the other side. The ladies and Peter and John got there on Easter Sunday morning, and the tomb was found empty. The lives of the disciples were transformed as they recognized God won victory over sin and death and the grave. This Easter week, stand firm, stand fast, stand tall, and look forward to what God has in the future as we celebrate the resurrection. May God bless you.